Howdy, folks. I'm the Wicked Witch of the West.
I'm Amber.
And here's some cardinal directions. Alright, folks. Our first letter is titled, Am I the Jerk for Questioning Why I Wasn't Invited to a Baby Shower for the Child That I Am Carrying? My boyfriend and I have been together for 4 years. We live separately. He was 30 and lived with his parents. I was 31 and lived with my 6-year-old. We had our baby on September 14th. The baby shower was sometime in August. His aunt decided to throw a baby shower for him. She said that it would be a male's version of a baby shower. Men only, but that was a lie. She invited his mother, her daughter, his cousin, and herself, of course. She said that I wasn't allowed to come. If it were only men, a baby shower, then why were those women allowed there too? Also, that would only make sense if it were a bachelor party, I was carrying the baby, and wasn't allowed to be there. All my boyfriend said to me is that it was out of his control. He just put up his hands and was like, I'm sorry, babe. Nothing I can do about this. I just have no sway or impact over the situation. I couldn't just decide not to go or anything like that if you weren't invited. Nothing could have changed the situation. Like, they would have dragged me there kicking and screaming. I just couldn't help it. I feel like he should have stood up for me and said that it didn't sound fair and that it should be a baby shower for the both of us. Every baby shower that I had ever been to had been for both parents. Also, I didn't feel like he deserved a party looking like a father of the year because he didn't even show up to that many of the baby appointments except maybe 2 of them. One being when we found out the gender, it was on my birthday, but he had to leave shortly after the appointment because he was spending the day with his mom on my birthday. Also, they lived together. Another appointment he came to was a 3-hour glucose test, but he spent half the appointment on the phone with his mother. Also, he wasn't there much for me during the pregnancy when I was throwing up or needed help lifting something. I had to do it mostly by myself. Again, we are together. Maybe this would make sense if we weren't together. He tells me that the baby shower was an out of spite, that it was supposed to be guys only, with the exception of his mother, aunt, and the cousin. Yet, I'm the mother. All right, folks. What do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
You're gonna get a 0 on the jerk scale from me, OP. But you need to dump this guy.
Yeah, the only jerk you are is to yourself for continuing to be with this guy who's continually neglected you.
If there was a guys only party and there was to be an exception for that,
yeah,
the mom of the baby is the exception.
Yeah, why was his own mother allowed to go to the baby shower when she's not even the one carrying the child? This is just absurd. This doesn't sound like you're in a relationship with him. It sounds like he's just stringing you along.
Yeah, it
doesn't sound like a relationship.
No, I mean, he's in a relationship with his mom.
Yeah, it's like he's living with his mom. He talks to his mom during important, milestones, and he's always around her.
Spent your birthday with her.
He went to his own baby shower with his mom instead of you. OP. He's married to his mother. If he's not married to his mother, then he has some other woman he's with and you don't know about them, right? That's the only explanation for all his behavior here. This isn't the way you treat someone who you're, going to marry or who you're with or, your partner in general. This is just not an acceptable way of treating someone that's supposed to be very close to you in your life. And again, I know that he was like, there wasn't anything I could do about it. But yeah, there were plenty of things he could have done about it. Mm-hmm. He could have just said, I'm not going to go unless my fiance or girlfriend, I don't know what they said they were, is coming with me. I doubt fiance. I don't think he's proposed. I would imagine that might make mom angry. Anyhow, take care and good luck. And Ultra Relative says, not the jerk and big yikes. I wish you weren't linked to this man for the rest of your life because he's married to his mom and you're the other woman. And Jumpstart55 says, not the jerk, mama boy alert. And Backstar1401 says, that was my thought. He's treating her like a surrogate for his mother.
That is something that I thought of too, is like,
Yeah.
be careful because they may just like want the baby and be using you to get a baby.
Yeah, that might be a really good point. Like, is he going to basically try to take the baby and exclude you from the baby's life? That seems like that could happen here, OP. I would be very cautious. Very, very cautious. All right, folks. Our next letter is titled, Am I the Jerk for Expressing Surprise that a brand wants my wife to model? My wife, a 23-year-old female, and I, a 24-year-old male, have been married for 5 years. We have a 1-year-old son together. In high school and in the early years of our marriage, my wife danced for a ballet company and did some commercials and some fitness modeling on the side to make ends meet. Well, now her ballerina days are behind her and we've moved back to my home state for my job. She's now in school, hoping to become a sports physician one day. However, because our finances, she teaches at a local dance school and does freelance photography to make ends meet. Her photography business actually has gotten quite a few clients, and I guess it put her in contact with some various local brands and businesses. One of her clients told her that if she still did fitness modeling, that she should go to a casting call for some new fitness brand. When she told me, I was supportive, but didn't think anything would come of it. Because while my wife eats healthy and exercises, she hasn't been doing the intense workouts that she did when she danced professionally, and she has to buy a new size of pants for everything. Classy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, today she got a call saying that they wanted her to model for them, and she was so excited. However, I guess I look sort of awkward because I know the beauty standards in our part of Arizona are pretty much geared towards extremely fit people where healthy eating and exercising is a full-time job. So I kind of shrugged and said, wow, I can't believe it. My wife asked what I meant. I said that it wasn't what I thought, but it seemed that every local beauty standard brand wouldn't welcome stretch marks and loose skin, no matter how subtle. My wife got offended, I wonder why, and said, they do not seem to notice or care that my body has birthed a child, but thanks for pointing out that I look different. It seemed to bother you. I said that wasn't what I said, but I guess I thought beauty standards were what they were, and she walks away and says that it was at least what I was thinking. Am I the jerk for being surprised that my wife booked a modeling gig? All right, folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
Yes, you're a huge jerk. Like, this is so gross. Like, first of all, you seem to have an unhealthy idea of what fitness is, because it sounds like your wife is plenty fit.
Yeah, I mean, she's teaching dance classes. Dance classes require a lot of fitness. And if she's teaching dancing, it's probably that she's very fit. And I mean, if she's very fit, then why wouldn't they want her to do a fitness modeling?
Yeah, well, exactly. And it's just so gross to me that he's like, well, beauty doesn't allow for stretch marks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's, you
Well,
know,
that's a very unhealthy attitude. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. People are beautiful, right? And we need to start getting past this idea that small imperfections or flaws or whatever you want to call them are, not beautiful, because that's just not true. It's not right, right? And I think that it's a outdated view to have.
yeah, well, it is. And like, I also love how she did this to bring a child into the world. And
Yeah.
he's like looking on this, like, oh, well, you're ugly now because you gave birth to a child. Like,
I mean, I don't know that he's saying that she's
well,
ugly,
yeah, but
right?
like, you're not beautiful enough for this.
Yeah, you aren't the pinnacle of beauty. Therefore, I'm surprised that you would do modeling, or they would accept you for modeling.
Well, like the thing was, even if he was surprised when she got the call back, he could have like saved the situation by, oh wow, I'm so excited for you. Like there's so many things he could have said, like just, oh, that is so great.
Yeah,
I know you've been looking forward to
but
this.
instead he was like, "Oh, they chose you? Wow. I wonder why. Did they just not have any other people there that showed up that day? Well, good job, hon. I didn't expect this to happen, but you managed to pull it off in spite of the odds. Good job." That's basically what it sounds like. So anyhow, take care and Good luck. Hopefully you can somehow make this up to your wife. And Delicious Half 7684 says, "Wow, body shaming your wife who has given you a child, great idea. Can I suggest you start looking for lawyers in your area? Maybe ones that look physically good to you, since you know all about beauty standards and have no problem voicing them." All right, folks, our next letter is titled, "Am I the jerk for getting someone fired because they pretended to know the language?" English is not my first language. I'm a 27-year-old female and I decided to apply for my dream job. I have met all of the criteria and one of them was to be proficient in my native language, Russian, which I am, since I've grown up in a country that speaks and writes in it, and I have finished school and university where obviously all the subjects are taught in Russian except English, French, and German language classes. Well, I ended up securing an interview with this place and needed to demonstrate my knowledge in Russian. So the person who did the interview started asking me questions in it. However, I could barely understand her. Not only did she have an accent that made it incredibly difficult, but the fact that she couldn't even build a sentence, but also used incorrect forms of words and the pronunciations were totally wrong too. In short, it sounded as if she was randomly pulling the words in Google Translate and was trying to repeat them over. I have answered all of her questions, however, I've noticed that she barely made any notes. I decided to let it pass and wait for the verdict. Well, after about 3 months of chasing and silence, I got an email saying that I wasn't successful and the reason was they believed my knowledge of Russian language was poor and insufficient for the job and not up to their standards. Of course I was confused since the lady who interviewed me could barely speak the language herself. So I have decided to leave feedback about my experience on one of the job sites, which was made to share info about working at the job and interview process. My review received a fair amount of traction, and last Monday I ended up getting a call from the higher-ups who listened to my feedback and opened an investigation. On Friday, I found out the lady who interviewed me was dismissed. She and her friends were messaging me on social media, calling me a jerk, because this job was her only source of income and was struggling. I am now feeling pretty guilty about this and feel like I was a jerk for writing about my experience. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. I mean, if they did their job right, they wouldn't be in the situation.
Yeah, the thing is that she clearly lied about how good she was at Russian, and if she isn't a good fit for the job, then yeah, that's not good. And she probably, when she found out you were a fluent speaker in Russian, she probably panicked and was like, "Oh, I can't have her coming in because this will basically reveal the fact that I don't know how to speak Russian." She was probably looking for someone who had very little knowledge in the way of Russian so that she could continue to be the expert, the subject matter expert in the language. So I think that this probably came out of fear, but also she managed to find your social media, which means that she somehow either went back through the resumes and found your information, or she found this information off of your review that you left. And either way, this isn't good, and I would report this to the company because she's continuing to harass you like this, right? Maybe there isn't anything they can do now, but they can potentially send her a cease and desist letter. So yeah, a deceased and desist letter. Wow, that's a strongly worded letter. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Eagle7 Fox 3 says, "Not the jerk, she is scamming her company by pretending to speak a language that she has minimal fluency in. Imagine how many other people that she's turned down for jobs." And yeah, that's my big concern too, right? Hella good stuff. Censored says, "She probably thought that she'd be better off hiring people who spoke badly because they wouldn't be able to find her out. She thought that she was the gatekeeper and didn't realize how dumb of an idea that was." All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and I didn't guess it right. Amber's got jokes.
What is it that is put on a table, cut and passed, but never eaten?
What's put on a table, cut and passed, but never eaten?
Mm-hmm.
Werewolves. Werewolves are put on a table.
No.
They're cut and passed.
No.
And they're never eaten because they're werewolves. And so that's the answer to the riddle. Werewolves.
A deck of cards.
A deck of cards. No one, Amber, you know how many deck of cards I've eaten? This is a lie. I've eaten at least 5 decks of cards, maybe more. I eat like a deck of cards a day, actually. That was a lie. I wanted to make it sound like I wasn't an avid card eater, but I am. I eat all cards, folks. This joke is a lie. It's a scam. It's fake. Don't believe anything that joke book has to say. Werewolves were the answer. Anyhow, I have Mega Mint tea. I also have gotten some pretty bad side eye right now from somebody. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. And if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Squeak, squeak. Chair squeaks. Our neighbors probably think I've gone insane.